Hello, Collective. Welcome to a timeless reading of yours. A few things while we get ready for the reading. I am Master Seventh, aka Seventh, that reads these energies for you. Also, know that whatever may magnetize you to be within this very moment with me, there may be something within this moment, or as you leave the moment behind, that may be something for you. However, it may not include everything, so whatever pieces may not be yours, feel free to leave it behind as you leave the reading behind as you move forward. Contextually, just know that this is a timeless reading, and whatever brings you here, the moment is now, and past, present, and future energetical timelines could come forth within the reading for you. Feminine, masculine energy, non-gender specific, and more details on who I am, what I have to offer, is found in the description box below. Bear in mind, I am in the very beginning stages of development. I have been in this sort of a pressure cooker of energies for some time now, and the lid is being pulled open little by little, and I go at that speed. And hopefully at that speed that I go, you decide perhaps to join me and consider participating on either of my channels or any of my platforms while I figure out how the engine is really wanting to take off and deliver its content for itself for you. Okay? So a little bit more clarity while I'm on the topic. I am a remote wellness alignment master healer, and I provide tarot intuitive insights. Okay, again, there are several links within the description box to help you navigate this channel, my other channel, and just however you want to browse the energy that magnetizes you to this moment, right? All right. There's a lot of like nervous energy. Someone doesn't really want to be caught on something. Okay. Someone, yeah, it's plotting and scheming type of energy. Okay. I think the goal of this energy is to be very high vibrational. They're just in a very like it's like this energy of like boxing, getting ready, like on the defense mode, ready to get in the right stance, the right position, hand placements, making sure that when you hit, you go right in the proper like stance, self-defense, just being ready. All right, I think this is it's just getting ready. This is on it's mostly political. Okay, this is however politics plays in your life, and if you're leaning towards the judicial political system, government, yeah, it's a great place to start. But the end zone and how all that affects you is life politics, and it'd probably make more sense to begin with the life politics and let it get to figuring itself out how it wants to negotiate itself with left or right or in between. Moving forward. Okay, but life politics are, I think, the craftsmanship needed to figure things out. I also see that not a lot of that energy wants to reveal itself. It's tactic driven, whether that's on the side of the spirits not wanting to disclose information, or the ego not wanting to disclose that information. There's a lot of like spyish energy. Okay. I don't feel it necessarily being attached to the energy of like defense. I feel like this person is getting ready because they may feel like eyes upon themselves, or the energy of like, I feel like I gotta just like perk up a little bit and get ready for something. Okay, this ready for something. If it's attached to a generator that is like pushing the dialogue of like not wanting to participate in war but getting ready to do so. So that's a little tiny crack into a narrative that keeps on going, and it's part of the problem narrative. So keep that in mind as ether, your immediate surrounding, and all that in between is slowly weaving together thread by intricate thread and pinhole and thread and pinhole, and how exactly she needs, wants, and desires certain patterns of 2025 backwards, the boomerang back into 2025, and how it's going to push out into some form of function that's completely different than the past, but would look like the past to weave out the past so that it can never boomerang itself back into that moment, the future moment's timeline once more. Go ahead, try to make sense of that. This is like nervous energy. This is a lot of like energies of the ancestors. Coming forth, and like, we are ready to rock the boat, baby, rock the boat, don't tip the boat over, rock the boat, baby, rock the boat, don't tip the boat. They're like, they're ready, they're ready to tell you what feminine energy is and what masculine energy is, and how they dance together, boo-boo, and it doesn't matter what you look like, it's gonna have some masculine touch with some feminine and masculine energy, and then it's going to have some feminine touch with some feminine and masculine energy. Okay, it's quantum magic in and of itself when you have a duality of just both. Okay, so all that here to trigger you on how would you even begin to have that conversation with me, 7th, if you were in the same vicinity in this moment. What am I triggering? How long would we maybe be in this conversation? Would it even be a conversation? Do you see itself being fair? Do you see yourself being pressed, triggered, influx of emotions that you don't know how to put verbiage to and share, but you're like, I really want to tell you something? Like, yeah. Ether is like, nothing? All right. Oh, a little something. Like, she gonna keep until we understand what this is and why it's out there, and why that moving forward, what you think is incredulous is actually not as bad as half of the shit that has been going on without her fucking influence, but just because of absolute ignorant and malicious state of mind and greed and patriarchy that is rude even to the patriarchy that's within the energy to acknowledge that even it has existed up to this point. Wondering what that is, whatever you want it to be. It could be the defibrillator. It could be the detonator. Know that, like, that air thing? It's truly what it is. And however you receive that breath, and however that breath then ricochets and gets triggered to all the quadruple trillion gazillion cells you have, ether's like, there he, she, they go. Yeah, they come from me. But you want to pretend like you don't, and you want to pretend like y'all are not family with each other. All right, cool. There are a lot of people who are in love and light and are like, oh my god, violence, never. Excuse me. let's wheel it back just a little bit. If, and maybe you do, you have a child. I hope you understand discipline is very much needed, because Mother Earth and the jungle out there will discipline if you decide walking in there ignorantly. The same way she will discipline you if you walk ignorantly into the ocean of hers. You can walk in without zero knowledge and walk out knowledgeable. You have to be accepting of that opportunity to be filled with knowledge. And so that, ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between and before, cute, is not only available, but it's, I think, imperative to remember that and understand that if any misalignment has come across, is because it has been not disclosed. Something has been cut off the tip. I'm hearing circumcision as well. Alright, Six of Swords. With another sword here, kind of cut off, not full, and in full disclosure. That's that sneaky Seven of Swords energy, wanting to become suggestive, that it's lurking around. Alright? If y'all know anything about my channel yet, I hate the Seven of Swords. I hate the Seven of Swords. Yeah, you heard correctly. Hate. Alright. Yeah, there's a big need, prescription to traverse Mother Earth energy with whatever element or chaos or stress you think you're lacking, not in control of, not seeing, need clarity, want to be fickle and figure out whether or not it's your purpose. Might not be your call. Whatever you think is your purpose to let people know now, sit back and meditate on it a little bit longer, okay? It may not be true. It might just be the message that whatever energy you really want to show up and do is probably already being done by another individual, hence why you're the one hearing that energy, feeling that energy, seeing that energy, getting the download, and realizing you didn't really have to do much but to receive the energy. And that's what a lot of you are not yet understanding, that you're just supposed to look at your assets and be proud of the assets of that you have and protect that which it is that is your property. You protect your property, and it begins with this. And because this is messed up, to think that at least in the United States or even globally, whatever, however you want to put it at this point, you can look at the map and go like, oh yeah, the problem is there too. From where I am sharing these energies, or it happens to be called the United States of America, there's nothing united about that. All right. Yet in the idea of which it stands is that it doesn't understand how it's supposed to really stand yet. It's like a wobbly old baby who's like, oh, I got arms. They do things. And I got legs and they do things. They keep me... Oh, they can keep me up, and oh, I'm knocked down. That's like the United States. Okay. It needs disciplining. And it's been on that agenda for a long time. Now, if you think now that I'm hearing 2022, like there are some digital warriors that have been like born, resurrected from that time, and they're just like ready to get into the crux of shit. And if you still think that this is necessary, you're not understanding the message. Because if there's a reason why you're here feeling that there is a void that needs to be filled within you, there's something within you right now that you're doing too much. So wherever you're giving your energy, there's something too much about that you feel depleted, that you come to something like this and need to be replenished again. Whether it's with hope, whether it's with a blessing, a prayer. I don't know why you came here, okay? It ain't gonna be found here is my point. It's gonna be found right in there of which it is you are, okay? And nothing to do with me. Y'all feeling her energy? Y'all feeling her energy? She wants to come out. She coming out. She coming out. She coming out. She's making her point very fucking clear. You want her energy. You need to understand that part of that magnetism is that I've been mentioning her energy. And it will be on repeat on this channel until she feels heard. If that's forever, let that be forever. But it's been forever since she has been heard, so let it go on for however long she wants to glow in her forever delicious, magnetizing glow that's available for all. And so available that if you have a little bit of that, you can send some to somebody else. And you call that prayer. Yet showing up to that prayer has been very incredulous and very unfair. And then there's a need of wanting more. So Ether is like, hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. You want more of what now? What now? What about you is not complete that you want more of what? What you need? What you need? There's stank in the atmosphere, all right? There's stank in the atmosphere. And some of you are somberly looking at your life and are like, oh, you're so stressed out. You're so stressed out, so enthusiastic, so in need to be validated that it's hard to pay you attention. That's how much you're in need of it. That's how much you're in need of it, that it's hard to pay you attention. Because there's very much energy that is willing to give you everything that you need, but you're in the mode that you're never going to see it if it were to fly like silver and gold your way. And that's a problem. To the ether that illuminates everything but fucking gold and glitter and opportunities in the way that it's not material. Very needy, childish energy around. And ether is not putting up with that shit anymore. She's not. All your wishes, all your complexities in life have been validated. Hashtag fact checked. You can still breathe and pop your cigars, your 3 packs of fucking cigarettes a day. You can even do some crazy ass shit and literally get away with a lot of crazy ass shit. That has nothing to do with ether. Again, that's you being a living proof that you can expose by being a exploitation of ether. How brutal she can be, merciless, and how personal that decision can be, because it's influenced and could be influenced possibly by you or someone you know. So the narrative of what you really want is so hard to actually pay attention to for yourself and to literally pay you to give you the attention that you need is difficult. There's too much shit around. You're immersed with so much energy, but looking one direction and then looking the other direction, and these two energies don't know how to dance well with each other. It's like the day doesn't know how to swim with the nighttime energies, and then you don't know how to bring rest to the day or the upcoming nighttime energies. So they mesh together with all this type of shit, and you just don't know how to really rationalize maybe one reality, two illusions, delusions, faith, belief, religion, non-religion, theology. But what it definitely, you can't argue is when it comes down to maybe a form of label that some of y'all are going to hate being on repeat, which is energy. Because energy don't lie. A piece of paper can have energy. And then we can definitely understand that the heart gives energy. And then we understand that the heart's energy is given energy from the mind. Keeps going. So no matter what word you put before, middle, during, after, in between, above, linearly, diagonally, in front of, in between, attached to energy, more and it's going to resonate. Not supposed to take all those, okay? But nope, Nope. Nope is nope. And here it is. Here she is. The Seven of Swords energy of what I fucking don't like in full exposure. And this, I said earlier, like the tip is missing. Okay? And then like here, both hands are like holding the structure, the majority of what the weight at the tip. And it's to say that the hands are one of the most powerful aspects energetically of the ethereal, energetic quantum magic that I'm talking about. Okay, it has the color pink when you're really attuned and aligned in the optional vibration. It can be pink. And right now there is no power in the hands of someone. Okay, you might even be a Reiki practitioner, but you emotionally feel like there's nothing left to give. And that's a problem. Because you feel that there's something more. Why? Because you know there's something that's not enough. So you feeling there's the answer within the question. There's feeling there's not enough. So there is an absolute knowing in that moment there might be something more or linearly parallel other than to it. And it's starting to make you, maybe the practitioner, question what's out there. While a majority of people, all the people on earth right now can practice Reiki and not have to have a single attunement made for themselves by any master healer and receive Reiki energy. Please remember, I'm a master healer, of Reiki and of my own personal, okay? However that jives and whatever with you, I'm not here to disclose that. What is important is that there's energy made available for you right now to explore. And right now the hands are cut, they're tied. They need to be, I'm literally seeing like fractures, okay, cuts, wounds. Maybe the season is dry hands, crackle, like pay attention to your hands. Someone also robbing from you, okay, robbing you from an opportunity, being sneaky. This is like friendship related sneaky, all right? Like danky, stink. Yeah, you don't see it. And what you don't see is who it is. Just because you don't see it, though, doesn't mean you don't know who it is. Okay, you might not know who it is, but it doesn't mean you don't know who it is. Imagine if you recalled back the energy that you gave out, and that energy that comes back to you from you being in the middle and calling back all this energy to get you out of this funk of being betrayed and stuck and somberly looking over your life and like your head hang low and then whatever. Imagine calling that back and that illuminating you, because you're becoming strong and understanding there's a deceptive energy, and so that yellow is what you're addressing, to have that be the sun's rays being brought back to you in the way that it requires healing with that brownish orange color in the sunflowers, and maybe some ritualistic endeavors and routine here in the hut. This is not going to be an overnight healing journey or overnight illumination and euphoria of like the right thing to do or the right next move. No, this is a process, and this process is going to be so intricately detailed to not allow you to ever be in this position again, which is not knowing exactly what the fuck you are. These weaves are going to be interlaced. You see this pattern? This is going to be interlaced and interlaced and interlaced. That, yeah, you might see swords, but what you don't see is that this is a grid line. Anyone that tries to come and puncture this is going to get cut. That's how you can use your pain the negatives and turn it into positives. So all that is being illuminated with the more or less positive end of why we don't want to hate all the time or stay away from hating. That the positive of that is that there is potential room to not hate it, and that's the energy that's left with that Seven of Swords yellow coming in with the wanting to illuminate the personal characteristics of like, am I proud of myself? Am I successful? Am I this? Am I all these self questions? And the King of Wands of self energy and the King of Cups self energy is going to help bring like nurture and then euphoria and discipline, but just existing, and how to weave that for yourself into an interlocking pace that gives you security, that when you speak about it doesn't leave you empty or dry or in the negatives or with less, that you reach that vibration for yourself. And then that means that once you understand that formula, you're beginning that formula of sustainable energy, like the Tesla energy of 369, that I'm sure there is a beginning stage where it's very powerful, and while it's powerful, it's also very sustainable. But let's say it accrues with more and more and more and more and more, it becomes this big nuclear aspect of energy. Maybe at the same time it's more impactful because now it went from a singular notion of the beginning stages to many different chapters of possibility. So when a hit comes along the way, it doesn't maybe feel it at first punch because it's good. And that's what we're aiming towards, and getting you, the listener, to understand that there are energies out there, no matter how negative your world is, the chapters and how you write it, however it was given to you to write or to read the story, there's an antidote to that right now. And that you're the digital warrior to that binary output and input of that galactic problem, to be the problem of the variable and to state how it might not be a problem anymore, or how that problem is still a problem, and be within the formula to get a better resolution to all the problems that were born or have given birth to all these problems previously and brought them into our moment now. Yeah. Yellow will help you feel a bit more. I mean, for those of you in the United States, you're dealing with a lot more seasonal changes, right? Seasonal depression, helping you introduce flare of high vibrational color, which is any color, to this gloomy period, will help you feel a bit more closer to rejuvenation. Small, tiny steps to get to a bigger picture. Some of you want to take bigger steps than the small step. That's going to come at a cost. You do have to pay, okay? However the payment is, whether that's in gold and silver or paying attention or a dollar amount, that's up to you and whatever you have to pay to determine at that moment. There is no sense of being poor or being in a impoverished state, okay? Having an excuse that you can't afford something is not the excuse. It is the reason why you're not showing up to that event or that person. Maybe you can't afford the item that's on their menu, okay, or their service or attention, but it doesn't mean all the time that that person who has this menu in their cost doesn't provide things for free, okay? Or maybe there's also an opportunity to see whether or not this person will be flexible with you. It's about you showing up for yourself and taking that risk of conversation, and then taking credit for the response once you shared your truth. Because a person like a healer like myself can understand the difference between a concern of desire and knowing that's going to come from a need, and a curious and desire that's going to come from a want. There's a significant difference. And I believe also there's a challenging aspect to understand how one healer and another healer of the same niche are not the same. Think of the world a bit more in color, okay? The color not defined in any particular way, because even that line that you think is yellow is green is maybe yellow at one point, okay? So however you can't feel part of something is to take the reality of what it has to present itself as an acknowledgement for how it is wanting to represent itself to you and for you within that moment. And if you have room to grow within that moment, bigger and vaster, to be the one to show up and communicate and say what it is that you want, rather than anticipating something to answer to you, because you don't always need to be answered to directly. You will get an answer, and the answer will always be permeating somewhere. But if you think in that regard that your ego is in need of an answer just because you asked a question, it's illegitimate to understand that even a thinking thought or a said thought is a gift to the universe. It's not a demand that needs to be answered, especially for you, the person that's thinking it. But imagine that every moment that you're thinking, you're actually giving a gift to the universe to consider your inquiry and justify it in it being a thought, and how to intertwine that thought into the intelligent mind of the universe. And that's how much you can understand how much you're in control of that. It's not about you being in control of being mother or daddy, who was your creator, but understanding that they are a participatory aspect that is not a need or a want, yet an aspect. And however that becomes well or unwell or ill towards you is like the dial tone of where you are in your life. And then there are certain other steps to maybe make that a bit more fluid of an engine, a better manufacturing, better quality of life. And that's how some of you are restabilizing your life and taking a different perspective, a different route of, let's say, also healing, or different tactics and resources that are just different. They're different because maybe in your family no one has ever decided that for themselves before, and you're like, yeah, why not? I'm going to do this, And also seeing somebody doing something expressively sexually and empowering for themselves, whether it's being a dominatrix or being in that position of quote-unquote power that allows them to have a very harmonious, respectful, tactic, tasteful, diligent, and genuine approach towards living, by having an honest communication about what it is they want to participate in and journey and experience moving forward, whether they're doing it for their own or with someone that they want to spend their life with on a very daily pursuit of ticking out the time. All right. I think that's all that I have for you at this time, collective. I'm wishing you a wonderful morning, noon, or night, wherever you are in the ether of this time and space. And may you keep flowing, growing, and glowing. Take care.